Hey guys, this is me, Daniel Hutchins, and today we are doing the super mega long article discussion, part 2. So, again, previously from super mega long article discussion part 1, I had talked about DC Batman Superman team ups with the Authority Special Number 1 comic book review. Okay, so we're finishing that up, and we are doing some other stuff. Okay, so despite the issues for Bowden nature, Johnson creates an impressive amount of humor that fits the pages as well. The Midnighter and the Batman's dynamic were particularly funny, and Johnson pokes fun at the similarities between two Bowden heroes, playing the Midnighter's jealousy of the Dark Knight's notoriety. But even when he makes the audience laugh, Johnson is building an increasing dark world that puts DC's heroes to the test. The humor that goes along with the grim world of the Empire of Shadows more palatable and humanizes the legendary heroes as they put their lives on the line for the sake of their planet. Okay, the various artists working with Superman and Batman, Authority Special Number 1, do the excellent job illustrating the differences between multiverses. Of course, with a list of artists presenting this engaging version of Earth-Zero. These heroes are compelling, well-designed characters with familiar worlds, but with the Enchantress transporting them to the Dark Multiverse, some people have thrown in the heroes and the audiences into aggressively angular and frightening versions of Gotham City. Even as the heroes notice the stark aesthetic contrast between these worlds, Templeston's unique style depicts the world that the alien is menacing. With the expressionistic style, he has communicated chaotic action scenes without losing the readers. Okay, related to this article, how Superman's Game of Thrones story blurs the line between good and evil. We are not talking about that. We are talking about someone else. So, as you see, I have moved areas. I'm not in the kitchen. I'm in the living room. Of course, there's photos below. Batman Superman Authority Special Number 1 has given readers another chance to see the Authority in action before the journey of the War World, while exploring a particularly heinous part of the multiverse, but it also works as incredibly fun standalone adventures. Batman's funny, tense relationship with the Authority is enough to make the comic the worthwhile reads, and Templeton's incredible artwork makes every page engaging. Now, audiences are sure to be entertained and surprised by Batman and Superman Authority Special 1. Okay, guys, that's just a quick conclusion of what I had talked about in part 1 of the super mega long article discussion part 1. So now I just finished that up for you guys in the beginning portion of part 2 that I'm on right now. Okay, so now we are going back to CBR exclusive, and we are trying to find some stuff that... Now we're talking about the Young Justice again. Young Justice mocks the most overused trope, but the stakes are much higher now. Let's break down the late episode to the Young Justice Phantoms. Here are some of the heroes that have mocked the show's overused trope. This was from a day ago. Warning, there are spoilers from the first 5 episodes of Young Justice Phantoms, now on HBO Max. So in Young Justice series, one of the most overused trope was Ben the Infiltrator. We've seen Tara plant a double agent and Deathstroke akin to Judas Contract, with Roy Harper being a double agent programmed by Lights to damage the team from inside. Now coming the later episode of Young Justice Phantoms. Some of the team's younger members poke fun at the angles being repeated as they face similar situations. It has occurred when Onks one of the League of Shadow assassins, comes after Artemis, Cassandra Savage does the same. When they're apprehended, both admit they want to defect, but the problem was they're slandering each other's names, which leaving Artemis confused as to why and who is genuine. Of course, related to this article is Young Justice Phantoms and proves an outsider's biggest mistake. We're not talking about that. We're talking about someone else. Okay, guys, that was just my friend. My friend was calling me, so I had to answer him back. Okay, so, alright, so, spoiler, there was Orphan, Arrowette, and company. You don't buy into Artemis admitting that she could be seeking from the shadows as the infiltrators. Onyx had even mentioned that Cassandra's plan, while she claimed her dad, Vandal, mutilated her, it really was from the run with Killer Croc. Onyx then said she was working with sympathy angles that's all to manipulate Artemis. What's even more confusing and frustrating for Artemis was that she even said in her arc before in truly meta moments that she was too accused of being a plant. Green Arrow kept it secret she was Sportmaster's daughter when they brought her into the team in Season 1. It's caused a lot of tension, bickering, and controversy, and drama and shit, but that's basically 3 times duplicity that's been employed, which is why it feels solely overdone. Luckily, the show, taking the tongue-in-cheek comedy as the youngsters this time round, know they'd have to be on their guard. Still, despite her experience and her betrayals, thankfully did not end up as bad as they could have been. But of course, Artemis has their heart and hopes that 2 women could have been redeemed. Well, related to this article, Young Justice Halo's new arc may be the show's most powerful so far yet. Again, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about other stuff. But she knows what it's like to be the puppet, but her team's still cynical, leaving us wondering who is the liar who wants the dumb to implode. Ultimately, though, the stakes are much higher now, because one bad move could see the shadows kill these people, and they're tossed out of the wilderness. However, Artemis knows if she gambles right, with the shadows coming from them, possibly vulnerable, trust may help her, though, take down one of their nastiest enemies. She's clearly between the rock and the hard place as the leader, and isn't helping that her charges are placing pressure on her. Artemis has to guide by her example, so she can't afford to be seen as weak or a bad strategist, because she's been doped here. It would have been the deadly repercussions down the road. To see Artemis and her crew mock infiltrators in the first 5 episodes of Young Justice Phantoms, check it out on HBO Max. Alright. So now we are going to more CBR exclusives. Alright. Alright, we're just trying to find stuff, guys. We're literally just trying to find stuff. Alright. Okay, now we're talking about Batman again, by Josh Williamson. Batman writer Josh Williamson takes the Dark Knight into the abyss. Okay. So, incoming Batman writers tease the epic plan for the post-Sphere states and the fearsome new villain we know as Abyss. This was from 3 days ago. After the best-selling run of Batman comes to the epic conclusion from the Fear State, acclaimed comic book creator Joshua Williamson is taking the reign on the main Batman ongoing series, joined by superstar George Molina. Starting with December's Batman 118, Williamson and Molina's run kicks with 4-issue storyline dubbed Abyss. which introduced the new villain to Gotham as Bruce Wayne leaves the city to take his crime-fighting mission global again. And as Dark Knight takes on the sinister foe, he discovers he's not the only figure to embrace the shadow, to use them toward his advantage. Exclusive interviews with CBR Williamson teased the fans what they can expect from his upcoming runs, revealed how his approach to Batman differs from the writers that preceded him, and hinted how this opening arc could set up bigger payoffs for DC Universe in 2022. Also noted the standard cover of unlettered previews of Batman 118, illustrated by Molina and colored by Tomei Mare, or open order variant covers by Victor Bogdanovich, homaging Todd McFarlane's iconic comic book artwork from variants covers illustrated by Francesco Martinez. Okay, but related to this article, how a forgotten Batman villain power became Gotham's new street drug. We're not talking about that. We're talking about someone else. So this is basically just an interview just between CBR.com and the person we know that is now writing for Batman. Not much to say about that. All we know is that there is going to be a new Batman, and there is a new Batman writer that has taken Batman to the next level. Not a whole lot to say about that. So we are going to another article. Alright. So now we're talking about Damian Wayne. Young Justice Damian Wayne is already a Robin, but with a much darker destiny. So let's dissect the late episode of Young Justice Phantoms to see how Damian Wayne is already a Robin, but with a much darker destiny laying ahead. This was from 3 hours ago. Warning, there are spoilers from the episodes on HBO Max. Young Justice Phantom, the Batman family, is getting a lot more time in spotlight outside Batman. Nightwing and Robin, Tim Drake, spoilers, now playing the key roles. Cassandra Cain's an orphan with a new war with the Leagues of Shadows in sight. Interestingly, though, they run afoul with Ra's al Ghul institution again. We actually see the Damian Wayne, already a Robin, but with a darker destiny. Last season, Damian was seen as a baby with Talia, who made it clear he would never be offered to Bruce for training like in the comics. She's felt he's replacement for her father as the Demon Head. We see him once again, but this looks like this to be the case. Related to this article, Young Justice Phantoms improves on Outsider's biggest mistakes. We're not talking about that, we're talking about someone else. So it happens when Cheshire comes to Sensei, looking to end the League after they and the White used her to almost kill Artemis's crew. Cheshire is bitter and trying to protect her family, after only their Sensei to dismantle her with the ease. At that point, Talia emerges with the toddler who's cutely clad in red, green, and yellow, clearly homogen the outfit for as a super son. He's the boy wonder by look, but as she says, she's rejiggling the League to something new and more powerful. However, Cheshire escapes, clearly making this escape born into her heart. But while she and Artemis try to figure out who they can trust to this battle to come, the series could make Damian a villain off from the cuff. Alright, related to this article, Young Justice Halo's new arc may be the show's most powerful so far. We're not talking about that, we're talking about someone else. The Robin suit may also taunt Bruce, with Talia set to shape him as the militant head, akin to the Batman Beyond comics, where his worldview was more of an anti-hero than Ra's warped perspective. Seeing as she's got Sensei, who may be more powerful than Ra's, Damian's already had a perfect tutor to become his sinister leader. It'd be definitely thrown into the show to major turmoils down the road, given the fact that Batman and his ambitious charges are a more personal feud, while also setting up John Kent to either fight and redeem the lad. The series is known for time jumps, after all, so it's also the perfect place to have an older Dick possibly taking the Batmantle and fighting the antithesis to everything Bruce representing. Either way, Talia's adamant that her Damien's not going to be like her dad or beloved. Hinton, he'll be much worse. Ultimately, though, this Robin is being set up to bring the light the vision she had built but never could intact. To see Talia's vision for Damien for the first 5 episodes of Young Justice Phantoms, see it on your own time on HBO Max. Okay. So now we are talking more about Young Justice. Young Justice confirmed that Superman is the Justice League's biggest coward. So the short scene saying that from Young Justice Phantoms, proving that Superman may not be quite up to the challenge of fatherhood. Warning, there are some spoilers from episodes on HBO Max. Young Justice is difficult to view Superman in the same light as other properties. Many DC animated shows, as well as live-action shows like Superman and Lois, has depicted him as the hero. However, this version has mostly seen him as the deadbeat dad who avoids Connor Kent, a clone created by a DNA of Man of Steel, and his arch-enemy, Lex Luthor. While Young Justice has moved beyond this, and even patched up the relationship with Season 4, it's evident that Kal-El is still the Justice League's biggest coward. It's confirmed in Young Justice Phantoms Episode 3, Volatile, he's phoned Lois Lane from the Watchtower, sitting with his boots off in a lush lookout point, staring at the Earth. Lois asks him and Martian Manhunter heading to Mars for Connor's wedding with McGann, but the conversation then switches to Clark avoiding diaper duty. Related to this article, Young Justice has brutally killed its most powerful hero. We're not talking about that, we're talking about someone else. She's on Earth, stressed out in a mansion John Kent, the baby boy who's appeared in Outsiders episode Home Fire. Of course, Superman nervously chuckles in the Watchtower's garden as it's clear he avoids the incessant crying and domestic duties by insisting he's busy saving the world, or he's hiding out in the tower on monitoring duty. His awkward disposition implies that Lois is calling him out. The post-credits stinger that takes the sharp turn, going from dark comedy to something much more serious, as his wife suggested, John's powers may have activated the most inopportune time. Related to this article, Catwoman Hunted Anime's continuity is Young Justice adjacent. We're not talking about that, we're talking about something else. She mentions poop is on the ceiling, because John escaped his diaper again. Clark makes it clear Kryptonian feces does not defy gravity. Superman doesn't know whether the kid is accelerating faster than he was, and wonders whether there's the possibility their son might learn how to use his superhuman powers while only an infant. The scene has ended with Superman speeding off, leaving his boots behind, and begging Cyborg for an immediate boom tube portal back to Earth. Now that's due to the phone signal breaking up after a traumatized Lois said something about John's eyes turning red, leaving Kal-El frightened that his child's heat vision has activated. It may be that Lois is lying to spur her husband into an action as a father, but it's also possible John is on his way to become a Superboy far sooner than expected. But that's what's certain is Clark is shirking off responsibilities as a father. He's bending rules, making up excuses, and working the system in a way that would certainly disappoint both of his dads. To see Superman botch it as the dad in the first 4 episodes of Young Justice Phantoms, see it on HBO Max on your own time. Okay, now we're doing more Young Justice, because Young Justice is really, really big right now in the universe. So Young Justice has retired one hero with the immediate perfect replacement. The late episode of Young Justice Phantoms retires one major hero with the immediate effect, but the perfect replacement was already there. Okay, there are some spoilers from HBO Max. Okay, so Young Justice fandoms, while the spotlight from Mars has been taken up when Superboy and Miss Martian's wedding, there's also been a key arc developing with one major hero. This none other than the Bioship, used in many fights back from Earth. Ironically, though, it's bittersweet because while Bioship officially opts from the field, the perfect replacement has already been tried and tested. Miss Martian confirms Bioship was pregnant and volatile, and as speculated from last episodes, it went off and split an offspring known as Baby, with Miss Martian taking the seniorship and Connor and Beast Boy's team to go make the wedding crystals. Of course, related to this article, Young Justice secret heroes are already breaking rules. We're not talking about that, we're talking about something else. So as they headed off, Miss Martian locks the telepathic and realizes Bioship won't be going back to Earth. It wanted to retire immediately and spend its last days on Mars, its true home. It had hit hard because while the ship was bonded to her uncle, John, she secretly bonded to it before, which is why it was kept to her secret as she stowed it away on Earth. In that sense, it's been her best friend throughout the years, especially as she didn't have any great relationships with her sibling. Rest assured, the Earth team will be great hands. Baby does have memories of its parent, so that the guys do feel comfortable maintaining the newbie, although they don't know just yet. It'd be a permanent change to come. Luckily, Baby helps them speed the service to rescue Connor when Beast Boy's trauma causes him to lose control and nearly kill him. From the end of Beast Boy, thankful for Baby's presence, but wonderfully, though, how Forager will fare back home, as he's bonded to his predecessor deeply. Superboy's got no issue, too, when its switch is revealed, because while Baby's kinks still need to be ironed out, Baby's been proven to get the job done. Even the other Martians dropped their stamp on approval of it. Related to this article, Young Justice finally explores the Martian civilization. We're not talking about that, we're talking about something else. It's definitely sad though, but honestly, Bioship deserves to head off in the sunset, as it's communicated with other ships when it's turned into an egg and pod previously, clearly indicating it wanted to be of its kind on Earth. Felt more like the Tool, but with the swan song providing nuance and personality. Not to mention, though, it adds drama, mystique, and intrigue to come, as Baby will have to integrate and train with the roster. This could be a battle complicated, as it acclimatizes on its new world, but the arc is teeming with potential, because Baby feels the ship that can help win many wars to come. To know more about the Bioship, check it out on Young Justice fandoms on HBO Max on your own time. Okay, so I think I'm good. I talked about 20 minutes of Young Justice stuff mostly. I talked about Young Justice a lot in this 20 minutes that I've talked. So if you guys have any questions or comments you want to leave down below my video regarding with the new show with Young Justice, let me know down below what your thoughts are. And again, let me know if you have seen the first several episodes of Young Justice. Let me know what your thoughts are. Try to steer me into the direction of it. Let me know what your thoughts and ideas were. And you have an awesome night. Again, this is Daniel Hutchins, and I am going to be closing out this part of the Super Mega Long article discussion, part 2, and then the last part 3, is going to be in a few days. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.